Big up, big up, and welcome to the Liberal 12th Man Show. I am Liberal 12th Man, and I'm joined by Lee and the Irishman today. So you guys are lucky people out there. As am I, because I always love it when I got my co-pilots. Oh,
I've
and
just lit a candle. I've got a nice scented candle, and I've just lit it with this bloody lighter, and the flame was dead big and burnt my thumb as I was doing that. I was trying to like listen and go, It's like, I'll be back in a
all
moment.
right, all
It's
right.
gonna
Don't
put
hurt
something
yourself,
on my
Lee.
thumb.
Don't hurt yourself. Big up, Irishman. How you doing today?
Well, I'm okay. I mean, he's on fire, but
I know. Setting things on fire today. Oh my goodness. Big up. Oh, Eagle versus Shark. That's cool. Big up.
it's like a fucking Siegfried and Roy gone wrong in here or something.
Yeah, right. You're right.
He went for the fireworks and he just burned himself up. Yeah.
I know, it's some craziness. Yeah, I see you got the LAFC. Nice. Big up. And big up to Bernie, of course, one of our red jewels in the house, and Red for Life and Bonkers. Big up to you guys. And everyone that's joining us as we go along. Big up to each and every one of you, because today's going to be a fun day. We're going to do this Survivor Series. We're going to explain it a little bit, and we're going to definitely give a little bit of like the ins and outs of how we're going to be trying to make this a regular thing, so that we can kind of have a little fun with the Survivor Series here, the Premier League Survivor Series edition here. So it'll be a fun thing. And then also we got some news to top off the day, so some news. I know Lee was talking or asking about McAllister being left out of the starting lineup, I guess, or left out of practice, I think it was. Excuse me, training. And I was trying to explain to Lee, and I'll put it this way too, something that you're going to most likely hear a lot of people saying a lot this year, and that is workload. The workload is something that is like he's not hurt. He's not hurt. I know I was just going to say that. That's what I was saying. Adrian. He's not hurt. What I'm saying about McAllister is they do an evaluation of how much of work toil or workload a player is going through with all the games and all the training and all the extra stuff that he's going through. And what they do is they make assessments as to whether to take, to kind of relieve the stress of that on his body by giving him days off. And that's what we're at with McAllister right now. He certainly has put in quite a bit of a shift here and there. And Argentina has recognized that. They've taken some of our training staffs or medical staff's recommendations, assessed it as well on their own with their medical staff, and have chosen to kind of give him a little bit of a break, which is cool, especially since these aren't important games. They're not World Cup qualifiers. They're not like they're not them going for Copa America. These are glorified friendlies that they're utilizing. So they're taking the time to kind of have them be a part of the team, but not necessarily push the envelope. Just so you know. Is there anything you want to add to that, Brian or Lee? Or
nope.
I don't need, but Brian, do you want to add anything?
Nope.
Okay. All right. Enough said. Other news there's some other news out there that was kind of interesting to me, and that was that apparently we made an attempt to sign a Mexican international. Now, this Mexican international plays in the Mexican League as well, and I didn't hear about this news until recently, which is why I thought it was kind of interesting to bring up this news. And that's because the Mexican club, put it out there that Liverpool had made an actual had approached him about the player. The player's name is Cesar Huerta. 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 He plays for Pumas. That is down in Mexico. They're a decent team. I don't know if they're necessarily like like
Love the name.
Club America or something like that.
Yeah,
What's that?
Name.
Love the name Pumas.
Yes.
Big thing to be named after a Puma.
This is what's the quote. It says Pumas manager Gustavo Lema confirmed that Chino was sought by one of the biggest clubs in the world, referring to obviously Liverpool. The player is a 23-year-old player, plays as a striker. And that was another interesting thing that we were going for, possibly another striker. I know that might perk up some people's ears. And it was interesting because he can play other roles on the front line, but his role with Pumas is as a striker. So it would have been what would have happened though if they had gone forward with it is that it would have been the same thing as a Mamar Dashvili, as in we weren't going to take him immediately. We were going to take him on a next year thing. I don't know why we're getting into the habit of doing that, but that was the case. I don't know if
I always like that when we plan ahead, move ahead. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. You don't always have to bring players straight into the fold. You know what I mean? It's more than acceptable to do it that way round, like the way we do it with Mamadashvili. We got that sewn up, like, so we got something to fall back on when Alisson leaves, and. Yeah, I don't see what's wrong with doing it that way again. Like, if we do that, if we buy him and then loan him out, whatever, or leave him there for a little bit, like, even whatever it is, whatever it is that we have to do. I mean, you don't get it. We haven't had that many Mexican players in the Prem. There has been a few, you know what I mean? It's not there hasn't been any, but there hasn't been a whole lot of Mexican players in the Premier League. Not a whole lot.
Okay, there you go. I wanted to make sure I get this shout out real quick. By the way, big up to John Conway. It's his birthday today, people. So definitely give a nice little shout out to John. It's his birthday today. So happy birthday, John. Hope that it's a great day for you, as all of them. But I hope today is special for you.
Yeah, happy birthday, John.
Happy birthday, mate.
I don't know if we're going to go for this player again in the next window, in the January window, obviously, but or if we're going to make another effort to bring him in at least. But it was interesting to see or hear that we're because there's not many. Yeah, I don't. Oh, that's a good question. I'd have to double check on that.
Because like work permits and all of that, if you're a young player and you don't have many international caps, it can be kind of, it makes it harder. But I don't recognize the name Huerta. I mean, he sounds like a young kind of promising kid. I'm just wondering, is he already an international or I'm assuming he's like 18 or 19 or something, but it sounds of him. I'm assuming he's not like 25.
He's 23.
Oh, he's 23.
Yeah.
Oh well, okay. I mean, he's not a young pup anymore. Then he's
he's not. He's not some 19-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. I mean, I'm not the biggest follower of Mexican football. Never heard of this guy.
It's called Liga MX. Yes.
Yeah, Liga MX. I know there's a few big names go there every now and again. I remember Gignac went there, and another French guy followed him over there.
They
also went to Tigres.
Dos Santos.
Well, he is Mexican.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
he
played in Europe too. That's why I was saying that.
Oh no, but I mean, they've had some big European players go there. Like non-Mexican players, like Gignac went there. When
he's Mexican, but he's also Brazilian too. He's like half Brazilian.
Yeah, but he plays from. But I just mean foreign. I just mean people who aren't play for Mexico.
Sure.
Yeah,
I wasn't trying to disparage it at all.
No,
Yeah.
but no, I can't. There's another French guy that joined the same club, Tigres, that Gignac joined, and I'm wrecking my head now trying to remember his name, but that happened recently because they do like, I mean, not everybody. There's probably guys in the squad on like 500 quid a week, but they can pay big wages to some players if they
I
want
think
to.
what happened was
Interesting place to go, man.
What happened was he was supposed to possibly have gone to Sunderland too, but apparently that fell apart at the last minute or something, or kind of fell apart before. And that was this guy, yes.
Guy. Right.
Yeah.
Like on loan there from us or go there on a transfer.
Yeah, so sending Huerta on loan would have allowed him to adjust to the demands of English football, blah, blah, blah. So that was the plan, was to bring him in.
Don't be sending him to Sunderland, though. Sunderland's a fucking car crash, man. You don't want to be sending anybody to Sunderland.
Okay. All right. All right, I'll remember that.
One of the worst run clubs in England the last 15 years. Easily.
Mm-hmm.
Shame, because it's a big club, Sunderland.
Huge club. Huge club.
Okay. Also in the news is that Liverpool has submitted the Champions League squad. And what was very interesting on that is that we've included 2 17-year-olds in that squad list. It has obviously the midfielder Trainioni, and very interestingly, it includes. If you guys want to, there's not many 17-year-olds on our squad, but would you want to take a guess as to who it might be? Is the second 17-year-old on that's getting a nod?
No, I can't think.
No, okay, that's cool. Irishman, you want to take a stab to think of who might be the lucky participant?
The center half. What's his name?
Yeah,
Nalo, is it?
Amaro Nalo.
Nalo, yeah.
Yep. That's interesting. I mean, that's big praise for the youngster to be called up.
Centre back, like, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Trainioni, we all knew was going to see. We didn't really get that much of a test run with Nalo during the preseason, or despite the fact that I think he did get a little bit of time here and there, especially in that second game against the Spanish team that we played. But we really haven't seen that much of him. But he got the nod. That's pretty cool,
Was it Cadiz? Was it?
What's that?
It wasn't Cadiz. Was it Betis?
Oh no! The Las
La Palmas. Yeah, La Palmas.
Yes, he played in that game. Yeah, he played. I believe he played in that second game, and then he also I want to say he played. I think he played in the 2 final games of preseason in America too, but like very, very like second half type stuff, like with limited minutes. Okay, that's cool. Adrian says he's actually seen Huerta play. Actually, he says he's seen Huerta play plenty of times. He's a limited player with occasional pace. Struggled on a very mediocre Mexican national team. Okay. I'm just reporting it as it is, Adrian. I'm not giving him the thumbs up or thumbs down. I don't know too much about him, despite the fact that yes, Mexico, the Liga MX is on television here. I don't really watch it too often, but there is a 25-man roster. Like I said, the team has been announced. And it should be something of an interesting unfold for us to see what these youngsters getting. I don't know how much of a role they'll get. Trainioni maybe more so than Nalo, but I mean, it's just great to see that they're getting the opportunity to even be on the plane and maybe or possibly fly over with the team type thing. Who knows?
No, when you put that squad out. Like, someone like Neone is somebody that could get a start. When you're looking at 8 games, there's a
Mhm.
potential maybe after 5 or 6 or 7 games that he could get a start. Although that it is backloaded, with the heavier games at the end of the schedule. Whereas Nalo is someone that
Mhm.
maybe is someone who would maybe get like say 15 minutes at the end of a match that we're God willing we're 4-0 up at home to Bologna or something, and nobody's been injured and we haven't had to make any, so give the kid 10 minutes at the end to give him his bow and say, look, well, welcome to Anfield. you know uh that's how I'd see him being used, as opposed to actually, and then something went wrong, you've got a center half there. But I think Neone is
Mhm.
someone who, I know we talked about it. I kind of, not going out in it, but I said I thought he was someone who was going to had skipped ahead of the whole under 23 bits. He was gone straight to the
Right.
first team, and I'm glad to see he's got this. So I can see him. Hopefully, yeah, like I say, God willing, we're well clear, and I mean we've got 47 million points, and we've got 2 games left, and you can give an Ione a start at Anfield. That'd be amazing for him, and
Mhm.
for everyone to watch. But I think Nalo definitely much more of a, 10 minutes here at the end of a game that we've absolutely smashed, and there's no chance we're losing, and bring him on. But it is good. Like, I mean, it's kind of out with the old, in with the new. You've seen we've moved on a lot of the Basatic type players.
Mhm.
But at least we're bringing in, we also have 2 young prospects that are stepping up, as well as Bradley and Kwanzaa. So we've moved on Clark, Basatic, Beck, Doak, these types of players that are being talked about. They've been around a while, so okay, it didn't quite work out for them, but we have other talents there as well. Like Soldier Boy Fran is there talking about this guy Rio. He's another talent that we paid money for. We didn't just bring him through the ranks. We went out there, got him, and paid money for this kid. So we obviously rate him. So like the broom was pretty wide. It was the new broom was bigger than I thought it was going to be. It cleared out a lot of young players. I mean, that dressing room was like decimated. Like some of these guys are looking around, where are my mates I was playing with last year? But that's football. That's how it goes when you get to that point where, okay, you're either going to go into the first team squad now, or you're going to move on, because you're not going back to the under 23s again, or you're going out on your own. So I think Naoni is someone that stands out to anybody. You don't even need to read his numbers or know too much about football. Just watching him, you just know he's a really good player, quite obviously. So get him chances. I don't know what you think about him, Lee. I think he's one of those ones that you kind of, your ears prick up a little bit. You want to keep an extra eye on when you see him. I know. Is there much chat around Liverpool about Nione or young kids?
No more so than some of the other young players, I wouldn't say. No, people are excited. I know that much. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no more so than some of the other youngsters.
I suppose, is it maybe because we only actually bought him last season? We didn't. He hasn't been coming up through the academy. He isn't someone that's been talked about for 4 years. It's
mm,
probably because he's only here a year. Same with Nalo. We brought him in the
Mhm.
same week. Neone and Nalo. I can't remember where we brought Nalo from, but Neone was from Leicester.
yeah.
So he is relatively a new player.
I seen him last season on LFC TV watching the youth sides, and he looked good. Yeah, he looked good in the youth sides from what I've seen last season. But then there's players who've been there ages, like Cade Gordon. He's been
Yeah.
here for ages, like Cade. Um,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
people are excited. Yeah, he does look a talent, and we've got the new lad Rio as well, haven't we? From
Yeah.
Chelsea.
Yeah. Another one we
That's
paid money
cool.
for. We
You
went
see
out there
this
to
one?
go and
Yeah. Or from what you're
yeah.
saying, from what you guys are talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
with the
What is
Rio.
it? What is it?
I thought he'd already said his goodbyes, but he said this is Soul Boy Fran is saying Rio said his goodbyes at Chelsea today, so it won't be long before we see him in red. Could be a special talent. I thought he'd already, I guess, is it become official now? I mean, like, that's kind of weird. It would be week 3 that he would be still in.
Oh, I don't know what that's all about. Maybe he was there for a day or something, picking up his bags or something. I don't know. I'm just more
Yeah,
interested. What would that be? Ungomo? Is it Ungomo? Ungomo?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, tough pronunciation, that one for
Yeah.
me. I usually
Yeah.
like
Well,
to not go to.
Well, the situation with before, like you guys were just talking about too, is the club have only had to submit their A-list players. Participating teams can initially name a maximum 25-man squad with a
Yeah.
minimum of 8 places reserved exclusively for homegrown players. Each team has a B list of players as well, on which clubs can register an unlimited number of players during the season and also update before each Champions League fixture. But UEFA regulations state a player must be registered on List B if he's born on or after January 1st, 2003, and has since his
they're under
15th
21.
birthday been eligible to play for the club.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you can register as many under 21s as you want.
right, exactly.
Yeah. But so then you will. I think what would normally happen is a couple of weeks in, after the first groups. Is it after the group stage? It used to be. You could update your list.
Well, I think the thing about it was also that because of those two names we just mentioned, Leone and Nalo, we didn't have to put Connor Bradley into that list. We didn't have to put Kwanzaa into that list. We didn't have to put
that counts in the other.
Elliott in that list if we didn't want to, since they're under that 21 that you're just talking about. But but it was good to see that they're joining them on the list. That means they have a lot of confidence that they're going to be possibly play a part in this Champions League run. Good for them and much success, obviously. There was another thing that was kind of interesting to see. According to Endo, the Red staff have been asking him about Japanese players and getting his verdict on certain individuals about whether they are good players or not. Kubo, just get that out.
You okay? You all right?
Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, I guess
so. Frog in your throat there, yeah.
Yeah. But it was interesting. I mean, he said, quote, "I get the impression that the evaluation of Japanese players who have transferred to England is gradually increasing. I think there's a lot of interest in Japanese players from all over the world. I am also asked by Liverpool staff about Japanese players saying, what about that guy? It's not that we want to transfer him, but just that he's a good player, that kind of thing." Endo revealed in his press. He said this in his press conference, according to Soccer Digest. So it was just something kind of cool to see. Obviously, Endo is the captain of the Japanese national team. They are currently about to prepare for a game against China tomorrow. And this was him speaking to the Japanese media in the press conference. What'd you say?
Not such a spicy match.
Just said something. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. I remember us being linked. It was around last January time, wasn't it? We were linked with Ko Itakiora, the Mönchengladbach centre.
Look at you! Look at you! That's a good shout. That was the next quote I had on my little notes here. Yeah. Recently, Liverpool have had Ko Itakiora on the club's radar, and also obviously they've been linked with a move with Kubo as well. So two very talented players. Very talented players. There was another player too that they were linked to, who I thought we were going to make a move for, but unfortunately he got a move to France. Actually,
if I remember correctly, from this time a year ago, well, a little bit under a year ago, Ko Itakiora was rated at £12 million. Pounds. Yeah. I think it was £12 million. It was a cost us to buy him.
Yeah. That player, I wouldn't mind seeing him go. There was a Korean player that I really like too. That is Kang-in Lee. He plays for PSG. I wish we'd gone for some of these players. They would have been nice players to have. What's that?
Yeah, he's good. But that young player, he's a bit of a prodigy type, isn't he? Kind of.
Yeah, he's looked at as being the next son, basically, in Korea. is what his title is now. It's like he's like the son, like the heir to the Sun throne of being like the best player in Korea. So
Hey, Cedric. I mean, there's loads of people that Ian, Cedric, Dara, Red Armchair. There's a load of
I didn't
people that
put
have
some
come in
names
the
in.
last what? Oh no, that I haven't said hello to. It's just there's loads of people I haven't said hello. There's loads of people
That's
coming in the last little while, so just want to say hello to.
Yeah.
So Cedric there as well. Dara, everybody that said hello. Sorry if I didn't say hello back.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Red Armchair supporter, Ian, Cedric. Big up to all you guys joining us today. Dara, I was talking to Dara back and forth a little bit about our heat wave that we're going through. I mean, like this is now the 100. We are now, as Dara said, I think we've had 100 days of over. I guess over was like 40 degrees Celsius. I think is 100 degrees, right, or something like that. So we've had 100 days of 100, 100 days of 100 degrees Fahrenheit here in Arizona. So welcome to the desert. Basically, is what this summer is bringing us today. Big up to Andy. Long time no see. I like it, Andy. I hope you like the. Yeah, I hope you like the. Yeah, I appreciate that you like the thumbnail. By the way, definitely.
Yeah.
So that was pretty much the run of the news. I mean, we're going to be into about what now, going into like 9 days before our next. I think it's like 9 or 10 days before our next Premier League matchup. So, and for the guys get back.
Yeah, Saturday, isn't it? The following Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday week, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
So
next Saturday.
Yeah, so looking forward to a lot of what we're going to have in store for this week to kind of keep you guys, enjoying or being able to get through, get your football fix basically here, and appreciate the fact that you guys are joining us, especially for this Survivor Series that we got. I'm excited about this thing, man. I don't know if you guys are not.
Well, I've got all my fingers and all my toes crossed that we don't pick up any injuries to our international players. I mean,
absolutely.
I was pleased that, remember I was saying I want to see DeLicht this season. I want to see him play. One of the reasons I want him to be fit all the time is so Holland could maybe rest Virgil one more time than what they normally do, because they'd have DeLicht, Botman, Ake. You know what I mean? They don't have to play Virgil against bloody Gibraltar, do they? Like they did last time. You know what I mean? It's like, what? He's playing against Gibraltar? Are you taking the piss? You know what I mean?
Right.
I want him to get a rest a bit more, Virgil. He's one of those players of ours that is overworked and has been overworked for many seasons. Like, okay, he got a rest when he was injured, like, but do you know what I'm saying?
No, I totally know what you're saying. I can't emphasize that enough. That I think that this year you're going to see a different approach to the the minutes and the man management that you see with these players, and I hope that it continues in that same type of mentality or same type of thinking when it comes to their time when they hit these international breaks. Considering that we have a couple of these weirdly placed international breaks. Yeah. Okay, Brian.
I mean, once a player gets called up, it's out of your hands, right?
Yeah, totally.
So you can't stop a player. Even if he has an injury, they can still call him up and do whatever they want. So you are kind of you're reliant on cooperation from the international managers out there who've got a big job to do, who might be a new manager, has a qualification process, has all of that. It's like, yeah, look, I get it. He's your player, but right now he's my player and I have a job to do, which is to qualify for this or to win that game. So that is kind of, it's all nice and well at the start of the season where it might be friendlies and you've got a good relationship going on, but let's not forget, Slot is Dutch. Dutch people, when they're both managers, can be a bit frosty. So I'm expecting in the future some very, very interesting back and forths between Slot and the Dutch, whoever the Dutch manager happens to be at the time, because they change managers every 5 minutes, and they could end up with a manager in 6 months' time who doesn't get on with Arne Slot, or Arne Slot doesn't like him, and the next thing you know, he's calling up players, Gravenberch, Gakpo, VVD, and questions are being asked and shots are being fired. I'm just saying, looking out for that one. I can see that one in the future, because you put two Dutchmen in a room who both think they're in charge. I'd go go somewhere else, because this is not going to work out well. There can only be one kind of top dog.
Yeah, I'm not a mean
It's the
spirited
Highlanders.
in that way.
It's the Highlanders.
Yeah, I'm not mean spirited with our players in that I don't want them to play for their national team, because it's a big part of the player being happy is that they get international recognition if they're a good player. And I've never been mean spirited that. But you do wish to see their minutes reduced, at the same time as saying that you do wish to see players like Virgil have their minutes reduced. And Mac's another one who will need to manage and have managed over the coming seasons. They're two players I'm worried about having too much of a workload. The others I'm not as worried about. I worry about Ibu because he's always getting knocked, but the others I don't worry so much about.
Yeah, it can come on the player. Like, I don't know what Dara is referring to. Ferguson did a lot of things. If he means Ferguson pulled players from international teams.
Giggs hardly played for Wales for years. Best years of his career, and he hardly played for Wales, especially for he never played friendlies ever. Ryan Giggs, every single time Ferguson pulled him out, we knew he was going to do it, and he did it, and nobody said nothing, including Ryan Giggs.
And he was hated, and because Ryan Giggs is a piece of shit, and we all know that. And he was hated.
To be a proud Welshman, isn't he? Like, what I mean?
But just that's Ryan Giggs, Alex Ferguson, and Wales. That is not Arne Slot, Liverpool, and Holland. There's this whole idea that Ferguson stopped players going on international duty. He's not the only manager who's ever done that. He's famous for doing it a couple of times because he's a high-profile manager. I'm not saying he has to stop players or he doesn't have the stones to stop players. And Alex Ferguson never stopped a player going on international duty. What he did was tell players to tell their FA that they weren't fit or they weren't going. He never rang up and said Ryan isn't going. He manipulated it, but that's completely overblown. Loads of managers have interfered to stop, but also let's be factual about it. You're talking about stopping a player like VVD, who's one of the best, and going to a top team to play in a big competition or playing a big qualifying game, right, for Holland against Germany. That's very different to Ryan Giggs not showing up playing for Wales in a friendly against Finland. Wales were never winning anything with or without Ryan Giggs. So that's one example. You can point that out. I'm not saying Slot will have. What I'm saying is, just look out for in the future some interest in back and forth.
I'm
not saying it will happen. That's what's going to happen. I'm not saying he will lose that or he will win that. What I'm saying is, what you do is you don't go out there as a manager and do it. You say to the player, you say, Verge, you need to tell them that you're not fit. And don't think that he didn't go head to head with some of these players. And he lost some of those battles about trying to stop players going and playing for their countries. He would have had all of them stay at home if he could have gotten away with it. He only got away with it, Giggs, because Wales were literally one of the worst teams in going. They weren't going to get anywhere anyway. So that's totally overblown. I mean, Ferguson did a lot of stuff.
Giggs' career did coincide with a bad period for Wales where there wasn't that many other good players in the squad with him. So, it can sort of be understood a bit, like, from his perspective. I'm not talking about Ferguson or anybody else.
He's hated in Wales because of it. Ryan Giggs is hated in Wales because of that. Gareth Bale is loved in Wales because he puts Wales, he claims to. He'll play for Wales over playing for Real Madrid. That's the way he did. So he's loved and adored in Wales. They fucking hate Ryan Giggs because he was Fergie's lapdog. And said, I was sore ankle.
If we had one really good player and that one really good player
But sure, he did it to us with Roy Keane as well, man. He did it to us with Roy Keane, and Roy Keane fought him over. Roy Keane barely. That's like Roy Keane played for Ireland pretty much whenever he could, apart from a couple of stupid friendlies. But he tried to stop Roy Keane doing it. Roy Keane told him where to stick it. Nobody was stopping Roy Keane play for Ireland, only Roy Keane.
Yeah, it always comes down to the player has the last say.
Exactly.
I have wondered if Virgil might want to pack in the international scene before too long. You know, them being the age.
With all the shit they talk about him, with all the crap they talk about him, not being a real.
I think he's going to want to. Yeah, he's going to want to win it. I think he wants to win it.
Calling him a has-been and stuff like in the bloody press. Will he miss that? I'm sure.
I think he's going to want to win a. Oh, sorry. I was just going to say. I think he wants to win.
No, I was just saying to Red AFCON. AFCON.
Yeah, I think he'll want to win an AFCON before he hangs up.
We're talking about Virgil. We're talking about VBD.
I thought he was talking about Salah. I thought he just said something.
Oh, Salah. Oh, right. So, no, we were talking about VBD. He thinks VBD, and I was saying about all the slagging off that VBD got from the press and his.
I was hoping he could have gotten. I was hoping he could have won it last year. Well, if he won the Euros last year, I think it would have been.
He probably would have. I think he would have if they'd won the Euros. Yeah.
Yeah, he probably would have said that. That's my swan song.
33 now. Why not prolong your?
Why not
the career that pays you the money? Prolong that. It's the classic move by a lot of players. You give up international football, gives you maybe another 2 years.
Work
if
for
you
Mill,
do it at the age of 30. Yeah, if you can do it, you can. Everybody, look, every player's body is different. Some players can play every game of the season until they're 35. But some of these guys, they know, look, if I take away these extra, maybe like a couple of training camps, a tournament a year, 10 games, gives me a huge amount of rest. So you got it. It's
mental as well, getting a mental rest, isn't it? For players that like.
Imagine going away with England. Lee, imagine going away with England every 2 months. All the shit that comes out in the papers every time England play badly. I mean,
something you could live without.
Imagine just being able to
10 times over.
For a week or whatever, or 2 weeks, being able to stay home with your family and just be able to.
You make one mistake on a pitch, and the Sun newspaper goes after you for 2 years. It's got to be after a while.
I'm looking for Matthias de Ligt to be available for selection all season long for Man United, and for that to get him back in the Dutch team at the expense of Virgil sometimes. Not at his expense, but to give him a rest. You know what I mean? Because there's nothing wrong.
12th man, I don't know. I think I've noticed there behind Lee, underneath that light switch, there's a nice big blank space. I think we need to get him a de Ligt poster. I mean, I think we need to get a de Ligt poster for Lee, so we can have it up there.
Yeah.
So focus on him for the year, because he's your guy for the year, man.
He is. That's hilarious. Well, if you guys are ready, we could start this Survivor Series and kind of give an idea of what it is. Do you want to explain to our beloved Mighty Reds out here and our also Mighty Red guests what it is that we're going to be doing here?
Okay, so quickly, what it is, we're going to do a team of the week, and then that will lead into what is what we consider the currently the team of the season. So we're only 3 games in, but right now, the Premier League team of the season, starting 11, and that's going to be round 1 of the Survivor Series. So every single week, we'll have a choice to remove one of the players that's in the team of the season. So week 4. 1 can go. So we're going to fill it up at 11 tonight. So that will be, as it stands, our team of the season so far. And then we can chop, we can hash it out with people in the chat about who it is. But then, that will be set. And then every single week, we'll go back to it in the Survivor Series, and we can vote for one player and one player only to lose their place and be replaced by another player. And we'll see where it then is. And we can take maybe a few punts on who's going to stay in it for the season, or who's going to be the first player out, or whatever it might be our next player in. So But yeah, we're going to solidify tonight the first round, as it were, of the Survivor Series, and then week by week, someone gets knocked out and replaced. So we'll always have 11.
So, and also what we're going to do tonight too is we're going to go through some of these are the selections of different websites, like whether it's, One Football, or because the Premier League hasn't come. I was on their website and they didn't have a Premier League team of the week for some reason. They haven't come up with their team of the weeks and player of the month. I guess you got to get the month first, and then they're going to start coming out with the players and teams of the week. But what's that?
No, sorry, I don't. Yeah, I don't know what their way of doing it is. Sorry, I was saying who knows.
Oh yeah. I don't understand why they're doing it that way, but that's just the way it is. So rather than fret and worry about it, we're just going to go through some of the nominees or some of the selections that have been made out there. I think some of them are pretty good selections already. So there's a couple websites that I rely on, and I'm going to show you for week one who were some of the selections, just to kind of get your mind on how we're going to get to week three, how we're going to get to this, high table, if you want to call it that, or the actual survivors of the island, on the island here, of the team of the season. So
round one of Survivor Series.
Yeah, exactly. So let me get this set up for you. So, let me make sure I get all the guys here as well into the picture. I know the anticipation is killing all of us, I'm sure. All right, this is good enough. So let's put this in. Oh, it's still kind of small. I'll make it full screen. So this was right here. This was week one of basically. This was the week one selection for the consensus of the websites I saw out there for week one team of the week. It says team of the season nominee card out there, by the way. It's not the team of the season, it's just a nominee card for that week. Okay. So on the week one, they had David Raya, who had a pretty exceptional game. They had Trent Alexander-Arnold. They had Kanza. They had Ruben Diaz. They had Jack Hinshelwood from Brighton at left back.
Mm-hmm.
They had Onana for Villa. They had Kovacic for City. They had Joe Linton from Newcastle. And then the front three was Saka, Welbeck, and then Matoma on the left. Not. I mean, that's decent, right? I mean, would you guys?
Well, it was week one.
It was week one.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So
it's cool, right?
Yeah,
so then we proceeded
two.
on to week two, and these were some of the big names of week two. And to show how big they were, I actually even have here a little breakdown of their stats if you want to get a quick look at some of their stats for that week. And it was a good day. It was a good week. Week two was a good week for Chelsea. They had a big outing against the Wolves that week. I think Madueke had a hat trick, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then what ended up happening was this was the week two team of the week that I personally came up with, but was on a bunch of websites. And this is one of the websites that I like, actually. It's called Squawka. And this was their week two team of the week. Week two's team of the week was, again, Raya in goal. So that's two nominees for Raya. Two nominees now for Trent Alexander-Arnold at right back. Romero had a shout.
He scored
Kanate.
that.
Yeah. Oh, he had
Scored.
a goal. Yeah. Yeah. I can give you some of the stats too. If you guys want to have some stats, just ask for them. I have a bunch of shouts for that week, what they did in that week. As he was just saying, Romero has now scored more Premier League goals than any other defender since the start of last season with 6. He rose high to head that ball past Jordan Pickford. And the Argentine won 10 duels, made 6 tackles, 3 clearances, and had 3 touches in the opposition box, and had 3 shots as he dominated in both boxes.
Told you, man. Argentinian centre halves.
Yeah.
Argentinian centre halves. They're the way to go. When they're good, they're good.
Bad boys, yeah.
He's a weird, isn't he, Romero? Like, you can see he's a good centre half, but he makes some bad rickets, doesn't he? He is a gaff lord, isn't he, Romero? He makes that.
He can be a little reckless. He can be real reckless. Yeah.
He's kind of a yellow carded game to a degree. I think he's toned that down a little bit, and also the mad ones, because he's someone like where you're just looking at him going, like, you do realize that if you just stop getting yourself yellow cards or getting sent off, you'd probably be one of the best centre halves on the planet. So just stop that shit. Yeah, it's not like, that's not even football shit. So just stop that shit. I mean, it's not that hard. I know you can't tell someone how to not lose their mind in a snap situation. That's how brains work. Yeah, I mean, but just to kind of like 2-footed lunges from 5 yards away, I mean, that's a brain process that you can't slow.
No, it's stupid.
It's so, okay, you get caught out here or there, what, because you're aggressive. That's cool. That's you. Want you to be aggressive. That's how you get 5 goals, is by being aggressive and going up and heading balls in, like, I'm going to get this, not you. That's aggression. So you can't. How do you tone that down? Like, I take him all day. I take him. I would take the flaws. I would take the the stuff in his game. I'd have him at the club every day of the week.
Stuff in his game. Your good stuff in his game, and it's far
outweigh. Doesn't it? Like, with that said, look, Ibu got a shout on this list too for Team of the Week. Obviously, this was because of him being inserted into the second half of obviously against Ipswich, but then since that, then getting the start against Brentford, played very well, and the Frenchman won all 3 of his duels, made 4 clearances, 6 ball recoveries, 2 tackles, and basically only misplaced 3 of his 76 passes. That's something
you can see he gets in over VVD. As you can see, like, in that team, he gets in it over VVD.
Yeah, totally.
In a game, he kept the clean sheet. So
let me show you this thing. I have a. This is why I like Squawker so much too. They actually show. Let me show you this graphic as well. This is showing the difference between Ibu and Romero, and as you can see, basically, Ibu was better in his passes into opposition half. He's better with his passes into the final third. Better at aerial duels. Better at with the success of his aerial duels. But other than long passes, he didn't really make that many long passes. Romero had better stats in that attribute.
Not your job.
Romero was good with his ground duels, good with his interceptions made, ball recoveries, clearances made. Romero and Ibu both were exceptional. They were very, very exceptional.
Who were Tottenham playing?
Tottenham were playing. Give me a second.
Everton away.
Everton. It was Everton. Yeah, Everton.
Was it away?
It was.
It was at Everton, yes. And it was. And Everton, I think they ended up winning like 4-0 or something. They really beat Everton down.
We played Brentford at home. They played Everton away. I mean, Everton at home. He's Everton they were at home. But Ian Mack is like Walter Samuel vibes. I mean, if you could be half as good as him. I mean, that's what he was one of the ones I was talking about last night. Ayala, Samuel, these kind of guys. But I don't think it's probably the only reason he's at Tottenham is because other clubs looked at him and went, he's deadly, but he's a bit of a hothead.
Yeah.
It was probably that kind of thing. Like, but then you look at a club like Real Madrid, and Sergio Ramos has more red cards than most players have goals, as defenders.
Yeah.
They've had hotheads. I like it. I like it in a player. You don't want to see anybody breaking someone's leg. No, you don't want to see that because he's a nasty bastard. Like, okay, he did something wrong, he mistimed it. We've all been there, that kind of thing. But
Right.
I don't think he is that kind of guy. I like their right hand side. I like Romero and I like Paro. Their right back. I mean, we don't need a right back, obviously. Not talking about for us, but Paro is a good player as well.
He's a good player. I'm not a fan of him.
It's like watching.
I got you.
Yeah, no, he attacks, he creates chances. If you're watching a game, that's what you want to see. He's one
certainly
of those players.
and that's why I'm trying to give him credit in the sense of he's a good player, but I just don't. He's just not my type. I don't know. I guess I was kind of soured by when he whipped off the shirt and was like acting like he scored the goal against us in that game last year.
Don't be the celebration, please. Don't be the
I know. It's harsh, but.
He's got that Man City funk. Just say that Man City.
He was
he came from Man City.
Taking his shirt off. He's like, getting like riled up, and I'm just like, they act like they won like a cup or something. Oh my god! And he act like he scored the goal.
You gotta suck it up sometimes, man.
It was an own goal, and he act like he scored the goal. I'm like, man, get out,
dude. Seriously, you cannot be the celebration police. If someone wants to celebrate, they celebrate.
They celebrate.
So
anyway, I think there might be some people in the chat that agree with me, but all the same, let's move on. And let me get through the second week. This is just game week 2. And in game week 2, they had Diego Dallo for Manchester United, who got the nod at the left back spot. He was very good. He cleared off the ball off the line, won 6 duels, and wasn't dribbled past once in that particular game. And in midfield, they had Paqueta from West Ham. They had KDB at center mid. And then they also had, hold on, make sure. Oh, I know why, because they put Palmer in at the number 10. So sometimes with the way that they've been doing this team of the week, they'll adjust it. Sometimes we'll have
rightly so.
Yeah,
rightly so.
And then sometimes we'll have a 4-2-3-1. This week they had a 4-2-3-1. Palmer made so basically Madueke made it on the right side. Cole Palmer, who had an insane game in the second game for Chelsea. Should have had him as my captain, but I didn't. So he ended up at the number 10.
Just go inside.
Lucho was the third Liverpool player that week to make this list. Liverpool's goals against Brentford, opening the scoring in the first half and assisting Mo Salah in the second half. Also had 100% of his passes completed. 6 duels. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Had 6 duels and created 4 chances, the joint most of any player on the pitch. No player has created more chances for open play in the Premier League so far this season than Liverpool's number 7, and that is Lucho. So keep that in mind. And at the top of the list, they had Erling Haaland as the striker in week 2. The Norwegian is just doing his thing. Cyber settings, you could say. He had a hat trick, and just killing it softly. That was week 2. Okay. Then people, I'm gonna bring in a little help from one of our friends, Trent, here to show us. Then we moved to week 3. This was week 3, as you can see Trent telling us also beautifully. This is week 3. And in week 3, we saw the emergence of, again, Liverpool players, Manchester City players. These were some of the stats, if you want to see that as well. He scored 4, I think. I think he might have scored 4 bonkers. He might have against the Wolves last week, but he didn't score him in week 3 because this was more of a week for Mohamed Salah, for Brian Waymo, and Luis Diaz. This was their week to shine, was week 3. This was the week 3 selections. Week 3 selections had Henderson in goal. Dean Henderson for Crystal Palace. It's going to be play a very important part for their season this year. Played well against a Chelsea team that had been on sky high levels the week before, going into Crystal Palace, different settings, and it's why you saw them come out with a 1-1 draw at Chelsea, by the way, for Dean Henderson. That was a big win for Crystal Palace.
Mm.
At right back, we saw Southampton get a nod, which was surprising, but Southampton are still without a point. But Yukinari Sugawara looked good in their defeat against Brentford. The Japanese defender is playing slightly further up the pitch as a wing back, which did aid him in getting his first goal, but he also created 2 chances and had 5 ball recoveries against Brentford. Played very well, played well enough to get the nod for right back. Next to him was Wesley Fofana. Played well against Crystal Palace in that 1-1 draw. Held it down for them. Also playing well was Lewis Dunk, who got a center back nod. He created a clean sheet, which were at a premium this week. And then I was just seeing who it was. Leif Davis, by the way, for Ipswich gets a shout. Shout out to the Tractor Boys. They got a nominee for this week, for week 3, as Davis got a shout for left back. Then we move into the midfield. We stayed with a 4-2-3-1 in this one. And Mario Lamina for the Wolves helped the Wolves get their first point of the season for a while. So good for the Wolves, but you know what? And pulling out a good game. He made 9 ball recoveries. That's the second most amongst all midfielders this week. Next to him in that back 4 of that back, or the back 2, was Mikkel Damsgaard. Player, I don't really like this player, but Bonnet, I guess. Anyway,
what did he do? Did he celebrate a goal against us or something?
No, he almost injured one of our players, but anyways, Mikkel Damsgaard was making his first league start of the season, having only made 7 in 2023-2024 due to an injury, and what a start it was. He ended up having a great game, made a lot of created a lot of chances, was active in his dribble attempts, and had 4 tackles. So that's why you got a shout for Brentford. And the other Brentford player was Brian Mbuemo. From Brentford. And with that, he played as a supporting role for Brentford in the striker role, and like the kind of like a second striker or shadow striker, if you want to call it that. The Cameroonian was very important in Brentford's 3-1 win over Southampton, scoring twice to take his tally for the season to 3 goals. They're easily making it a team that doesn't necessarily look like they miss Ivan Toney, by the way, which is very, very, very big to say. I had noticed, though, that we had our 2 wingers make this list, and that was, again, Lucho and Salah. We all know the performances they had against Manchester United. Absolutely great performances by both the right and left winger of our team. Needless to say, they are on this list, and they are joined by, once again, the cyborg, Erling Haaland at the striker position. It's beginning to begin. That call is starting to become a boring call to say as to who's going to be the striker.
Right.
So,
that's 3 weeks then. So
3 weeks.
that's
Yes.
them. So we're all the petty grievances aside. I think some of them are pretty. I mean, that's an interesting team. They're fine. So there's lots of. There's obviously a lot of data goes into them. So I don't think anybody
Yes.
would have had
Yes.
Sugawara as their players. So
Right.
yeah. So the idea now is right that we go on. We can all agree on that is the team of the week, no doubt. But now it's on to Survivor Series, right? So
now it's on to the Survivor Series. Yep.
So now what we have to do is, because that's basically from a lot of different sources, the best 3 teams this season. So out of that, we have to build the best team of the season so far. And they're our first round of survivors. That's our first 11. And then every week from now on, one of those guys, they don't have to, they could all stay in the team. But we get to change one.
The second team was badly unbalanced with De Bruyne and Paqueta as a pivot, and Palmer ahead of them. That was very, very attacking midfield.
Tasty though.
Tasty.
Yeah, tasty. You'd love it if it worked. It'd be tasty.
Yeah.
But yeah, you wouldn't be putting De Bruyne in a double pivot. No way.
Not with Paqueta. Paqueta would be the last one to put him with.
Paqueta's back in 2 yellow cards in a game, so you're like, I don't know, man.
So I did have this is like kind of what it would look like somewhat. I know I had the Irishman, for instance, created a team of the season nomination card, I guess you could say. And I have his put together. So it would be, we'd have to come up with who we want as our as our Survivor Series.
We can do the usual. Start a goalkeeper, go right to
left.
And
that's what we'll do. Yeah. I'm going to show yours though, real quick, just
yeah.
To show what it looks like.
Yeah.
So for instance, for him, he had let me add this to the stage here. He had Raya in goal. He had his favorite player, Pedro Porro, on the right back. He had Van Dijk, Saliba. He had Robinson at left back. He had KDB, Kovacic, and Gravenberch in the midfield. Okay. And he had, I think, who will end up being our first solidified nominees for the Survivor Series. The front 3, I think, is going to honestly be Salah, Haaland, and Diaz, whichever way. If we go for a 4-2-3-1 or we go for a 4-3-3, that we can choose and pick when that comes up. But I think that those front 3 are definitely going to be on this list. So that's similar to what we would say. And then what would happen is next week we'd see who out of this list gets to remain, whose conch is not, whose flame on their conch is not extinguished. So let me bring this down and let's do this, people. Let's put this together. I'm going to put the team together also in the I'll put it together as we speak. I'm not going to put it on. I'm not going to bring up the graphic live.
No.
Just so that it doesn't. Yeah, so it doesn't take up too much of my RAM here on my computer. But I can make it. I can put it together as we speak. So let's do this. First things first. Are we going to go with 4-3-3 or are we going to go for 4-2-3-1?
Come on, we've been doing 4-3-3 for 9 years now. Let's spice it up. Let's make it 4-2-3-1.
Oh, okay. I thought you were about to say 4-3-3. All right, yeah, let's do 4-2-3-1.
No, it gives us a number 10, and there hasn't been a million strikers out there, so we all know who's going to get. So we've been in 4-3-3 land for so long now. Mm-hmm. I want to do 4-2-3-1. Change it up a little.
All right. It's Irish
And
Spirits World.
I think it suits the nominee. I think if we do it, I think we'll find that it actually suits the
It'll
nominees.
suit us better, certainly, because because I don't know if there's really not that many DMs where I'm just like, oh, boom, that guy needs to be there, and that doesn't.
And
What
there's
I
only
was
one
going,
have striker choice as well, so that kind of gives us more midfielders to put in.
yeah,
Which are the more fun type players.
yeah. Well, let's start with the goalkeeper. Who we're gonna put in a goal? From what I was seeing from those 3 weeks, it's been. I know we could make a concerted shout to say Ali. I know people out there might want to say Ali because he has 3 clean sheets, because he's made some phenomenal saves in those games too. It's not like he didn't have that much volume to do, but then again, he did make some spectacular saves against Manchester United, especially.
It's still Raya for me. It's Raya in my team, and I think it's Raya in at least 2 of the team of the week teams.
It was,
and again, that'll be on stats as well, because he had, but
they're all on stats. All those Squawker, they do. Squawker is like a heavily rated. It's like FB Ref style, heavily rated.
Yeah. Well, who scored team of the week for me would still be the go-to on a further graphic, but they're the same. Like everything is just done on 8.899 and all that kind of stuff. But I think Raya, I don't know, because I don't want to fill it up with Liverpool players.
Oh, I know. I got you.
So, and he pulled off that's it. One of those saves against Watkins. It's just like, okay, right? That was world class. So, yeah, I don't know. I put him in. I don't know what Lee thinks keeper of the season so far. I don't know if there's been a super standout guy. I don't think anybody's fighting about something.
No, Henderson done well, didn't he? Away to Chelsea, the Palace. But Raya would be a good shout, I suppose, wouldn't
Raya?
Yeah.
Over the three, I suppose.
Okay. I'm waiting. I put it out there, people. This is as much as our team of the season. It's your team of the season too. So definitely, we're looking for your contributions, your picks. You can give your shouts. Whether you're watching this, even if you're watching this during the on the replay, put them in the comments. By the way, too. Put who you think. Put who you think you got right or wrong, or who you nominate. And we will notice it. We'll make sure that it gets somehow adjudicated into the votes in some way and somehow. But it looks like Raya is going to be the choice for goalkeeper.
It's a good start. It's a solid start. It's an impartial.
It's an impartial start. Certainly an impartial start. Okay. Let's move on to let's go to left back. Go to left back. Who's going to be your left back, people? Who is your left back?
Lee. Who stands out for you as left back? I know you haven't watched everything. Neither have I. I mean,
I could tell you who made it for the for those lists again. It was what was his it was the Brighton left back who made it the first week.
Hinshaw Wood.
Yeah, Hinshaw Wood.
Mm-hmm.
And then
he's been playing left back for City so far. Have they been playing Vardiol or Ake at left back?
Yeah. Weird I don't know. Dallo made it the second week. Dallo made it from Manchester United, and then the third week there was
Davis
from Ipswich. Now I'm not gonna go as far as to say Robbo deserves to be in it. So don't worry.
Struggling to think who Spurs' current left back is. Who's left back for Spurs? Is it Udogie?
Yeah. He's been okay.
Yeah, like my choice was Anthony Robinson. Anthony Robinson from Fulham.
Anthony.
So he's had a good.
He's had a solid start.
Yeah.
Nothing like Nothing where it's
Nothing
nothing where
crazy.
nothing great, but I don't think left back has been a great position for anyone this
Yeah,
year.
exactly.
Dependable, isn't he? He's a dependable player, and that's what you're looking for at fullback first and foremost. Somebody who's like consistent, and he seems to be quite
Mhm.
consistent. Robinson.
Yeah. Any shouts out there in the chat? This is like I said, your vote
I mean,
counts. So
I can see whoever is in our left back being one of our first potential Survivor Series. What would you call them?
knockouts. Yeah,
Knockouts. Yeah.
yeah. I think
Yeah. I think
Robinson's a
he's
good
had two
shout.
assists. I think he's had two assists.
Who,
Um,
Anthony Robinson?
yeah, I think he's had two assists.
I can again. I can pull up the stats if you guys want for any of the players that you guys want to question.
Like, I mean, when you look at those teams of the week, I mean, some like that team that Romero was in, like he scored a goal in that game. Like as a center half, that puts your numbers through the roof for those ratings type algorithms. Like the
Mm.
same with Paro. He's I think he has a goal, he's two assists. So
Yeah, he's got two
they're
assists. Yeah, he's got two
yeah,
assists. He's had some good rates. I mean, he's had 7.3
yeah,
rating, 7
yeah.
point. He had a 7.6 rating. I think that is.
Well,
Yeah,
Callum,
7.3, 7.6, and a 7.2 rating, and
Cal,
for an average of 7.37. That's pretty good rating. I think
yeah,
Robinson's a good shot.
Callum is just asking her. That's Hinchelwood is a
Oh, you
guy.
want his rate? Do you want his
No,
stats?
he's just asking who's LB for Brighton. That's Hinchelwood, the guy that we're talking
Yes.
about.
Yes.
He was in team one.
Yep.
He our week one team of
Week
the
one.
week.
Yeah.
So he's already been in a team of the week. So obviously he's decent player.
He doesn't have.
But
It
but for
wasn't
me
really
it's
his. It
Robinson.
wasn't
I
really his
think,
attacking. It was more so his
which is good to see.
performance,
Yeah, like I mean, people are.
passing, and
Yeah, I don't really want to rate. Like I don't like if someone's saying, "Oh, like just I'm not saying, but like for instance, you said earlier on, a certain centre back's forward passing was better than someone else's forward pass. Look, I don't want that. That's not what I need from a centre half. I mean, great his attacking numbers and all that, but yeah, you do sometimes it is good to see a defender getting in a team of the week and getting an
for
8.5
defending. Yeah, for
purely
defending.
based on defensive stats.
Sure.
That shows he's an absolute beast. It's like because, like I said, like the Paro thing, there was probably uh, 6 other right backs in the Premier League that game week that were just as good as him, but because he scored a goal, his numbers went through the roof, and he ends up in team of the week. So there is also that to be added into it. But yeah, Robinson, I'm happy to go with him.
I'm
He
cool.
was my shout.
I'm gonna put Robinson in. I'm gonna make this a double since we're at the center backs. It doesn't matter if like you could. So, for instance, if you wanted to pick Saliba and Virgil, but they both play left side, does not matter. Okay. Doesn't have to be. You don't have to pick a specific left back, right, or left center back, right center back. Just pick two center backs. Okay. Just making that known because that's how all of the team of the weeks earlier they didn't go specific for like he had to play right back or left back. They picked they just picked two center backs. So again, let's do this center back pairing. I'll put this in the chat. Tell me who your center backs are. Lee, who are your center backs you think should get nominated here?
For the first 3 weeks, for the whole 3 weeks.
Yes, the whole 3 weeks. For the whole 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Who do you think would has had the best?
I'll pick Ibu as one because I've been pleased with Ibu, although he didn't come on till half time, like or whatever it was in the first game. Pick Ibu as one because I want to.
Okay.
And a good partner for Ibu. Now, what would be a good partner for Ibu? I'll be picking someone based upon them being a good partner for Ibu rather than being in brilliant form. So maybe I'd go for Gabriel and try him with Gabriel.
Okay.
Saliba for me anyway.
Yeah, how about for
only because Gabriel's left footed, then he plays on the left, like so maybe we could play on the right.
Oh yeah, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That part doesn't matter. Yeah.
They'd have a back.
Just
They'd
pick,
have who played.
just pick two center backs that played well. They don't have to be specific to left or right.
Yeah,
Verge is getting
it's
some shouts.
VVD and Saliba for me anyway.
Okay, so
that's my part.
Konate, Saliba. You had Virgil and Saliba. There's been Konate. Definitely Konate. It looks like it's going to be in there. I don't know if Rihanna gets in there, Dara. I don't think Rihanna had a center back pairing this week.
I'm forever picking Virgil as the greatest this and the greatest that. So I thought I'd give it a nod, like, yeah, just for the start of the season, like, and you know, it's gladdened me. You know what I mean? It's put a spring in my step that he's fit and available, and let's just hope it's the case when he returns from internationals usually.
Okay, that's a shout too. Vardial and VVD for Ian. Bonkers has Konate and Vardial. Oh wow, this is gonna be tough actually because there's been I would say probably Konate.
Liverpool fans picking Konate over VVD, insane.
I know.
Whoever would have thought we'd see that day.
Contentious. I tell you what, I've impressed me. That stat that in slot start is winning his 3 first games is our best start since 1895. I mean, that's so long. It's 21st century now. We're talking about the 19th century. It wasn't even the 20th century when we had to start this good last time. It's the bloody 19th century. You know what I mean?
Right.
Did you see? Did you see when at the last? I think it's Lee. He hasn't lost the game in 29. I think the last time he lost the game was in, like, I don't know, something like January or something like that, something stupid, like a league game. I think the last time he lost the game was something like November. Like Arne Slot personally hasn't lost the game, like an actual proper game of football, in about 5 months, I think, something like that. It's crazy. He's on it's not just us. Like, he's on a crazy, like, I mean, it's PSV, it's or Feyenoord, it's carryover, but yeah, he's personally on a crazy run of not, like, we do like long unbeaten runs. That's what we do at the moment. You know, and he's already come into the club on one. I don't think that's any coincidence. That's, you know, I'm not saying
that's surprised. 1895, the best start since 1895, but a new boss was like, whoa, 1895.
September of last year, someone says Red Armchair's supporter.
Yeah, he's the first manager to win his first away game at Old Trafford since that guy in the 1930s.
Wow.
You know, we're on he's the first manager. He's only the first manager since Houllier to win his first game against United, but Houllier was at Anfield. You know, it's a little bit ominous when you think about what this guy might be able to do if you give him the 2 or 3 parts that he wants to add to the engine to soup it up. Like, he's doing this with somebody else's team, somebody else's squad. Give him, you know, he's already coming and go, right, okay, he's shown, I mean, Ten Hag has had 3 years, £1 billion, not $1 billion, but $500 million, anything he wanted, and he's just come in and be schooled by Slot, was gone, right, yeah, we got nothing apart from this guy sitting in the stands, and we just schooled you 3-0 with someone else's players.
Aren't they, Ten Hag, apart from, like, say, Rashford was already there, you know what I mean? They're all his signings, aren't they? A lot of them.
Maguire isn't his.
I forgot about it.
Yeah.
I put in as the nominees, or the ones that are going to hold down this, as Ibu, and I put in Vardial as the other choice. I know there was a couple. I only saw 2 shouts for Saliba, and
I like the sounds of Ibu with the left footer.
How many shouts did Vardial get?
I gave him a third. Oh,
you gave one? Who else shouted him out? Who else shouted him out?
Ian gave a shout, and Bonkers gave him a shout. Ian had Vardial and VVD, and Bonkers had Konate and Vardial. So
they're having Vardial over VVD.
Okay. One was Ian, not Bonkers did. Bonkers did.
Yeah.
Bonkers did.
Wow. Okay.
I would have went with VB. I would have went with VBT, but
that's what I'm saying. You're going
Could
to
easily pick both our centre halves for this, like, but I didn't want to be greedy, so I thought I'd just go with it.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to be impartial as best I can here. Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. I just think it's like people are being impartial by just picking one Liverpool player, but they're picking Konate over BVD. I think that's surprising.
Yes. So I have now right back as the next slot to be decided on. And who would you have as your right back? Let's go. I'll go with you, Irishman. While it looks like Lee's in deep in thought.
I will stick with my original and stick with your favorite player, everyone's favorite player, Pedro Porro.
Oh, Pedro Porro. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Stick him in. Well, that's my. I mean, he's not going to win, so I mean, I may as well stick it in.
Oh, pause. But yes, I got what you're saying. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I got your back. Don't worry. I don't want you to get clipped up.
Lee?
Yeah.
Right back.
Who's Chelsea's current right back?
Someone you've never heard of when Reece James isn't injured.
Yeah, I'll go for Pedro Porro.
Wow. Pedro Porro. Right now, he has got his shirt off and swinging it.
He's steaming up the right hand side. He's steaming up the right hand side, man.
Yeah,
steamed up the right hand side.
He did have a good goal.
Well, it's 2-2 now, so
2-2.
Well, it'd be 3-2.
Or two votes for Porto. What do you guys got in the chat for your right back? I will go. I know this sounds like we said I'm trying to be impartial, but I would have gone with Trent only because he did get 2 nominees in the 3 weeks. Out of the 3 weeks, he did get nominated twice, and I just think that he's been playing so well that he's been able to be subbed off for like rest. That's how well he's been playing. Don't even need him to be out there. We just need the coverage. That's all. But that's my pick. So it's 2-1 Pedro Porro in the lead. What are you guys doing?
No, they got 2 for Trent, so he's got at least, I think it's 3.
Oh yeah, I didn't see the Trent. I saw Bonker's got a Trent. I see that now. Anyone else?
Yeah. There's another
Red
Trent
Armchair supporter. Trent easy scored at the weekend too. Not his fault. Someone stayed offside.
Well, that's not his fault, but that's not how to
straight offside. Straight offside.
Yeah. No, I think he wins it at the moment. He's winning at 3-2.
Okay.
So go with Trent.
All right. Okay. Let's move into the midfield then, people. Who are we putting in in the pivot? So we have 2 midfielder roles in that pivot. Who are we selecting? I know we went with the Irishman last time. We'll start with you this time, Lee. Who you got in the pivot?
Okay. Pivot time.
That's right.
Yeah, Gravenberch is one for sure.
Obvious. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll give the other bit to Kovacic because I've always liked Kovacic, and he was in the first one, wasn't he, for the first week? I'll pick him because I do like Kovacic.
I don't think what's funny is that in those I showed you those team of the weeks for the first 3 weeks, Gravenberch wasn't in any of them. I mean, the first one was Onana, Kovacic, and Joe Linton. The second one was De Bruyne, and that was a 4-3-3 the first week. The second week was a 4-2-3-1, and they had De Bruyne and they had Paqueta, and then the third week they had
they had a 4-3-3 again.
Yeah, and they had Damsgaard and they had Lamina from the Wolves in there. in their selections. So, but so what were your picks again, though, Lee? I'm sorry, just refresh me with your pick.
Gravenberch and Kovacic.
And Kovacic. Okay. How about for you, Brian?
Same.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
That's the same as my team that I sent in.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I got you.
Gravenberch and Kovacic.
I think it'd be a nice mix, Mateo Kovacic.
Well, yeah, KDB too. That's why I didn't know if you had KDB sneaking in or not. So.
Well, no, in a pivot, like
in the pivot, sure, I got you.
I mean, Kovacic and Gravenberch. So
I think Gravenberch and Kovacic for Ian. He says from him, it started very well, recovering for Rodri. Red Armchair has got Partey in there. That's cool, and he's got Onana as a shout. This is cool. See, we're impartial. We're impartial in the Mighty Reds. I like it.
Well, he just said Partey scored in one of the games. I don't know if he's putting him in his team. Just to be fair to Red Armchair, he just said he scored in one of the games. So I don't.
Well, he did say Gravenberch. He said Gravenberch easy. He did say Gravenberch easy.
Yeah, didn't see Villa, but Onana has scored twice. Yeah, I mean, so he was in one of those teams, I think, wasn't he? I think Onana was in one. I mean,
yeah, I saw that Red Armchair support. I got you. I got you. Vote for Grava. Bonkers has Grava and he has Milner.
Well, you see, you can get into it now because like there's more of them now. Like at certain positions, it was kind of like, well, it's obviously going to be this guy, or I don't want to pick a Liverpool guy, so I don't know. I'll try and think of someone else. But now that you're into the midfield, there's actually a bit more kind of genuine choice.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the back four, I think, kind of was picking itself, really.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Gravenberch, Milner, I don't know. Onana.
Kovacic's got 3 votes.
Well, Kovacic is the guy that's taken. Like Kovacic is someone who played for Inter Milan, played for Real Madrid, played for Chelsea. He's now playing for Man City. Like he's had injury problems, but when he's fit and he's on the ball, and that guy, he's kind of one of those guys. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't score. He doesn't assist.
Mm-hmm.
But if you watch him every week, it's just like you could pass him the ball surrounded by 4 players, and it's still a done deal. He's almost impossible to get off the ball when he's playing well. So I'm glad to see. Like I loved him at Inter. Like he's nearly, I think maybe 31 now, but he's just one of those players you don't see it. Like Moussa Dembele used to be at Fulham. Talk about unpressable, or what they call press resistant is what they call it now. Kovacic basically, he's the definition of press resistance. And I'm glad to see him playing. I hated seeing him at Chelsea because he was too good for that scumbag club. He's a proper those.
Never played any Kovacic. That's right.
Yeah, those Balkan players. Those Balkan players, like they're born. Those guys are just born with technique, pure, like the likes of Modric and him. Glad to see him. I hate seeing him at City, but
I get what you're saying. KDB could be a shout though. He got into game 2, team of the week in the pivot, and he got into game.
Well, he's in my team.
Oh, he got in your team for
great players from the midfielders from the Balkans because it's not something we've ever had. And I'd really, we have Barkovic, but he was an attacking midfielder. I'd love to see us with one of those like Balkan midfielders who could like scheme for us and that.
I guess we're gonna put Kovacic into this because I don't see Kovacic's got the most votes out of all of them. So
yeah.
Let's get into the number 10. Let's do who do we have in that number 10 role?
Well, that's why you saw him in my team. Like KDB is my shout for the 10. So that's why that's me anyway. That's my shout.
Okay. Who's your number 10?
I'll give Cole Palmer the nod in the 10.
Yeah. I'm going Cole Palmer, to be honest with you.
Oy, Chelsea fans in the building. Jesus.
And no, one too many Chelsea players, isn't it?
Yeah. Cole Palmer He had like
I'm
3
gonna
assists in that game or something like that. He had like 3 or 4
yeah.
assists, and he had a goal
I'm gonna
for himself as well.
I'm gonna go full 12 man on this. I'm gonna say I didn't realize that you were both Chelsea supporters, and as a positive Liverpool supporter, I thought the only way to do this would be to actually nominate someone who was actually a Liverpool fan. So that's why I
Oh,
nominated him.
that's why I
Because
nominated
yeah,
BDB.
it's because I'm a sentimental guy, not like you Chelsea
Right,
fans, not like you two
right.
with your Cole Palmers. Oh, oh, distinctive
Alrighty.
the Chelseaness. Lee, that blue couch, man.
Um, even if he played on, he still qualifies to be in that 10 role.
Yeah, we're not going to get stinky about positions
Yeah,
when
yeah,
it comes to that stuff. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, we're not
So
putting a striker at right back, but a
right,
midfielder is a
right,
midfielder.
right,
So
right. So that's why I'm nominating Cole Palmer for the 10.
Yeah, I liked his impact for England in the Euros. He did well, the lad, and I'm a big fan. Yeah, big fan of it. Shame he plays for Chelsea.
Yeah. All right. Well, we
45
have
million out of the academy, basically.
yeah. What do we? I know we got a shout again from Bonkers for Milner. He is definitely Milnered up. Okay.
See, I'm gonna is that a joke or something? Like, has Miller actually been injured all season or something? Like, is
No,
that an in joke?
He's been playing
He's,
for them actually.
he plays all the games, has he? Okay,
Yeah,
because
he's
they've
been
got
in
that new.
all their games so far.
Yeah, like that. Their new manager is, I'm gonna guess, 6 years
He
younger
didn't
than
have that
James
great of a
Milner.
game against Arsenal, by the way, though.
Really?
Yeah, well,
Their
that's
manager's younger than Milner?
no. He's at least 6 years younger than Milner. I guarantee it. Their new manager, I think, is 31, maybe
My
32,
God. 31?
and Millie's got to be about 37 now, maybe pushing 38. Yeah, at least
Yeah,
37,
he's
maybe.
actually 38, but yeah.
38,
Yeah,
yeah.
38, and their new manager. I'm telling you, man, there's no way he's older. Like he is, he's like a Nagelsmann job.
Yeah.
I mean, he's older or he's younger than probably 4 or 5 guys in that squad, I'd say.
Yeah.
Because they
The
have a
only time
couple of.
you see that is with player
He's younger than
managers.
Alana as well, I'd say. He'd be younger than Alana. Oh, no, Alana went back to Southampton. Yeah, what am I talking about? Yeah. But, yeah, he's.
So
What's it? Herzel or something? Is his name the manager? Herzel or something like that?
mm-hmm. I can tell
I
you.
didn't even know their thingy had left until I seen that fella doing the press conference, and I thought, I use this guy. I
Yeah, he
did
went.
know that
Yeah,
he might leave De Zerbi, but I didn't know he had. I
Deserving.
missed that. Like, it's only when
Fabian
I seen the
Hurstler.
fella talking that I knew.
Hurzeler. Fabian.
Okay, and what is he? 32.
He is 31 years old.
Jesus Christ,
Oh,
man. 31.
a baby.
A baby.
Um,
He's from Switzerland. He's not from Italy, but yes, he's a baby.
Well, they speak Italian in Switzerland. Some of them do.
Bonkers.
Bambino.
Bambino.
João Pedro gets a shout from Bonkers.
For the front line.
Yeah, for the front line, I guess. Or is he just naming? Or are you just naming Brighton players?
Maybe it's a name. Yeah, I think that front three is locked down. I don't know if we're going to have to talk too long about our choices.
Oh no, I know. That's why I did the number 10. That's why I was going with the number 10 for it. I think the front three is pretty.
Well,
pretty
you could put João Pedro in a 10. Yeah, no, you could play João Pedro in a 10. Definitely. I like him. I really, really like him. I don't know if it's if he could come in to a bigger club and do it. I mean, he's one of those guys where you kind of look at him on his day and go, Jesus Christ, like, I mean, if he could do that every second or third week, but then he goes a little bit cold. I'm not sure whether it's Brighton or the in and out, but he's someone like, I'd love to have someone like him in the squad. But yeah, they bought they bought him from Watford for big money. He's club record. He like 35 million, something like that.
If he continues on the upward arc that he's on now, then there will be someone coming in to buy him. I'm sure of it in the Premier League. Like
that's their idea. That's their idea. Someone comes in and gives them double what they paid. But yeah, Bonkers is saying as a number 10. Yeah, I like him, but
I
Is
don't
he
know
a
if he
step up
makes. I
guy?
don't know if he's worthy of being on the.
Oh, I don't know. He's not in the team of the season, no.
Yeah, I
No.
don't know if he might have had a team
No.
of the week type performance. I don't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say. I couldn't say yes or no on that one, but I would say certainly not. He would be my vote for team of the season. But not at least holding it down for right now, at least for this week.
Yeah.
Are we going with Cole Palmer? Or are we going with KDB here?
Well, how many does KDB have? Other
I
than
think
me,
KDB has. I think he has 2 votes as well. So we need to
so that'd be
figure.
3. That's
No,
2
no,
from you. Oh, so 2 in total, just me and
2 in
someone else,
total.
and
Right.
so it's
Yeah.
2-2.
Yeah. I'm. Well, Lee and I went with Cole Palmer. You went with KDB. It looks like Red Armchair supporter went with KDB.
Okay, so we need a tiebreaker. So in the chat,
Tiebreaker.
anybody in the chat, Palmer or KDB for number 10? Bonkers, Palmer or KDB for number 10? It's on you, Bonkers. You're the man.
Yeah. And so far, City has 3 players already in the team of the season.
Yeah, and about to have one more.
No, Bonkers
KDB. There's 2 for KDB in the back door. I love it. I love it.
Richard, you
People are
guys
waking up.
disappointing
So
me
there
out
you
there.
go.
KDB.
So there you go. So there you go.
KDB. All right.
So that's it. And on to the inevitable front 3 of Diaz, Haaland, and Salah.
Yeah,
Does
I already put
anybody?
them in there.
If
anyone wants to throw in another name just for
yeah,
laughs and giggles, do it right now.
Otherwise, we're going to lock down that front 3 as said. Diaz on the left. Well, no, it's of the 3, and then Thingamy up front. Shouts for Welbeck.
Yeah.
He's done a really good job at
He was
Brighton.
good.
Hasn't he? You know, after falling out of favour at Arsenal after leaving United. It was Arsenal after United, wasn't it? Or was it the other way round? Did he go from Arsenal? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh, bloody hell. Yeah.
He's been a really good buy for Brighton, like.
Yeah, he went to United, then he went to Arsenal, then he went to Brighton. But he's one of those guys that I always hate it because it'd be like he'd be out for like 8 games, and then we'd be playing him, and you'd see his name on the team sheet, and you'd be just like, oh God, not this guy. He's that guy that just like doesn't play for 2 months and then just does your team, and then he's out for like 5 more games, and then he show up and he score against Arsenal. Yeah, I never liked capable of doing mad shit, but just so injury prone. Eze, yeah, where are you going to put him? Where are you going? Like he could be something because like this is what we're talking about. This is the Survivor Series, so next week, if Eze puts in a massive performance,
you could try to like make him
knock
bump
out someone.
KDB out or something, or
yeah, but it'll have to be like so next week. Like if you want to bring in somebody, it'll have to be. You have to bear in mind then. Okay, well, who's out? You have to make up your mind. Like if you want to bring someone in, it's not just bringing them in. You also have to get rid of somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So a player like Eze, yeah, he could knock somebody out. Definitely, he could knock out a Diaz or a KDB, maybe.
Yeah, maybe if he's lucky. If he's lucky. Okay, I have this ready for us. I'll show you what we've come up with. Our high table of the week of going into or coming out of week 3 and going into week 4, or however you want to look at it. The high table, international break high table. Let me bring this up for you guys. So this is the team right here. It's going to be Raya in goal. It's going to be Kanate, and Vardial as that center back pairing. It'll have Trent on the right, Robinson on the left. It'll have Grava and Kova in the middle with KDB as the 10. And then it'll have Diaz and Salah on the left and right, respectively, and Holland as the point striker. That is our current team of the season Survivor Series table.
First 11.
Yep.
There you go.
There you go.
They're there to be taken out. They're there to be replaced.
Yep.
They're there to lose their place. So just quickly, to anyone in the chat, so just in case, just to repeat it, next week, one of these players will go, and only one of them. No matter how bad all of them are or how good anybody, that only one can go. So people in the chat looking at that team, who would be your guess for the first player to be replaced next week? Who do you think is going to be either because you think there's a left back out there that's just one game away from obviously coming in, or do you think there's someone there that he's only in there because there wasn't many other options? Who do you think is going to be the first, just as a guess, the first player to be the loser? Because they're going to have to get like the most votes out. That's going to be hard.
I know.
I'll go as far as to say I don't think it'll be Erling Haaland will be the first man to drop out.
I think you might be safe with that one, Lee. Yeah.
I know who Solo P1's gonna say. Is it? Hopefully, Solo P's in the chat.
Kovacic.
No,
Kovacic.
He would pick Diaz as being the person.
No, I'm just saying there's two in the chat for Kovacic.
Oh, Kovacic.
As a guy that leaves.
Well, yeah, who knows? I mean, has Gundogan really made it?
No, but it's a wild guess. I mean, it's a wild guess. I'm not saying anybody should have to back up their guess. It's a wild guess.
No, I'm making.
But no, I
was asking.
The people.
Yeah. I was asking.
I mean, they don't. I mean, people if just don't think too hard about it. Like if you are wondering, but just who do you think? Like Anthony Robinson for Fulham?
It looks like Kova is basically going to be the most likely or the most suspect candidate on our list here. That's interesting because I mean, like I thought maybe someone might say Vardial. Maybe Virgil makes an appearance.
I think Vardial is lucky to be in this team. To be honest with you, so.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised. Anthony Robinson, Robinson, Fulham could.
Robinson's lucky because he's at left back is just such a weak position this year. I just think that Robinson's, very good scores or very good performances, but nothing exceptional performance. No exceptional performance, but very good performances could possibly keep him in that spot. Trent's Mr. Box Office, so he probably could hold it down right back.
I wouldn't agree with that one, Red Armchair. I couldn't see Mac ousting Kovacic just because of Mac's slightly different role this season.
Yeah.
But I just think because Fulham, I mean, if they get bet 3 or 4-0 in a couple of games, there'll be someone else that would be a standout fullback potentially. It's a good team. It's a good team.
I know. You guys could have had. You didn't have to have KDB in the 10. You could have had him as a pivot. I think. Who knows? I'm not a Blues fan, but I think maybe Cole Palmer might be a.
You could have had KDB as a
pivot. Yeah.
Oh, you could have, but he didn't get the.
He didn't get it. Yeah, I got you.
He didn't get shot. No, that's
now.
I'm
now it's
enough.
like. Now it's.
I mean, I'm not overly enthused on KDB either as the best. He has been good, but I don't think he'll be there. Yeah, he's one that I don't think will last the course. He should, KDB playing every game, best player in the world.
Yeah.
But I don't think just in terms of fitness and bits and pieces, I wouldn't be surprised if Cole Palmer. Like I don't think Cole Palmer is stopping. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like he's going to continue to do what he did. Like he wasn't like, oh, Harry Kane, one season winner.
He's
Guess
such a
what?
centerpiece.
Season.
He's such a centerpiece
No,
for him.
but
Yeah.
he's going to put up. He's not going to stop putting up the kind of numbers he did. Like it wasn't a one-off season for him. So I think if he stays fit, plays every game. If KDB does the usual, say misses 2.5 months, maybe 3 months with this and that, by the end of the season, I could definitely see KDB not being in there. But I could see. I can't see 3 of them back being in there. I can see maybe 2 of them. I think the only 2 guarantees I will put in there right now are Mo and Haaland. That will still be there at the end of the season.
You know who else I didn't get a shot to? It's like your boy Waymo. That's interesting.
He ain't my boy. I don't like him.
Okay. Making sure I pronunciate his name right.
Oh, Mbuemo. Oh yeah, Mbuemo. Yeah. Right, Mbuemo.
Yeah. But he had a very exceptional game against Southampton. 2 goals.
Yeah, but Virgil. Remember what Virgil did to him? Turned him to jelly.
Shut him. Yeah.
He made him look like a child.
He said it was his Anfield audition, and he did not look like he brought the right shoes.
Easy way or the hard way. Easy way or the hard way.
But this is the team, people. So I will keep this. This has already been saved. We're gonna have this. We're gonna try to make this a weekly thing, and
I mean that would do well in a league, wouldn't it? Though, if you look at
nicely balanced. That
would do well in a league.
It's a very balanced team.
I mean, yeah, that would do. All of those players fit for 33 games. I mean, you'd be doing well, I reckon.
Yeah, that is a good question. I don't know, Red Armchair. I'm surprised he didn't get a vote.
Mm-hmm.
You see that, Lee?
Give it 3 weeks. Give it 3 weeks, and he'll be in. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Ooh. All right. Bernardo Silva got Team of the Week, a shout from one of these ones out there. Interesting.
That's a good shout because I was looking at De Bruyne's face in that 10. I was thinking, who would I have there instead of him? And I thought of Bernardo Silva because he's such a good player.
You know who else had a good game too? He was a winger though, but Luis Sinisterra had a good week too. He had a good week.
The Bournemouth guy.
Bournemouth guy, Colombian. Yes.
Born from Leeds. Leeds paid big money for him, like they do. Yeah. Then they got relegated, like they do, and then they sold him, and he goes to Bournemouth. I mean, Bournemouth are my team to watch this year. Not saying like they're going to do stuff, but that they actually have a really, really good coach, a really good system.
That they continue to improve. They might move up a couple of places, but that's
it's almost.
Go.
Wow, they went with a 3-1-4-2. That's interesting. If you want to call it a 3-5-2. No, just saying Sofa score with their team of the week. They made their team of the week a 3-1-4-2.
I like it. Nice.
Yeah, they went like
But I just want to mention just quickly, like on Bournemouth, that they've massively improved in the last couple of years, right? I think we can all agree on that. Like we saw the form table after Christmas last season, or from March or something, that they were up in 4th. You know, they brought in this guy Iraola. I reckon there must have been someone pretty good in charge of football at Bournemouth over the last 2 years. I don't know who it was. Maybe his name was Richard Hughes or something. You know. I mean, do you know what I'm getting at? I don't think this should happen by accident. They're a club that's become very, very, what I'd say, like the whole Brighton and Brentford thing about how, they're so clever, they're so well run. Bournemouth are coming back up on the outside here and outperforming
with
Brentford.
Some very good talent. Yeah. Some very good talent. Like
who was running that shop? Who ran that shop? Richard Hughes ran that shop.
Yeah, Mr. Hughes.
So come on, Mr. Hughes. The people saying, "Oh, oh, he's only come from Bournemouth. Yeah, look, everyone comes from somewhere.
Yeah, Clivert is a good player. The son of a legend, but yes, he is.
Yeah,
Heavy
Somebody
name
else.
to carry that. That's a heavy
When-
name to carry that as well, Clivert.
Yeah,
At Roma, I mean,
he's a good player. Even though he did almost injure one. I think he did injure one of our players, actually. I want to say, I think he injured Maka. Well, I usually keep receipts on the players that are a little bit rough and tough with our players, considering we like to keep them healthy. Huh?
When we went away to Bournemouth last season, Diaz was on the end of a shocker from Clive.
Yes, it was. Okay.
Yeah, he should have went off. He should have went off. Clive,
Yeah.
for what he did to
Yeah,
Diaz
it was a pretty nasty tackle.
season.
Yeah.
Ref didn't see it. VAR
Yeah.
didn't deem it to be like that bad. Oddly.
The Domsgaard guy had one against us last year too. That was pretty nasty as well. He got a card for it, I believe, too. I think he did end up getting a card for it. But it was still a bad tackle. Anyways, bad tackles happen. I understand that, but don't be making them against my team. That's all. So anyway. See, yeah, okay. Yeah, Norgard from Brentford. Yeah, he had one too. Yeah, he did, Ian. He did. Yeah, I was glad he didn't score either, by the way, Ian, as well. Ian asks, wonder if Arsenal will give Calafiori on extended run at left back. I don't know what Arsenal's going to be doing. What they have, their lineup is certainly a good lineup, but it's an interesting lineup for me when I look at it because it's just got some. It's still missing. I mean, like I know Irishman is likes Kai
they're
Havertz.
defensively rock solid.
Yes,
They're
they are
defensively,
very, very
they're
good defensively.
absolutely rock solid.
But it's just that they
it's
don't have
up
much
front.
when it comes
They
to
don't
their
have
offense.
Well, they do and they don't.
Yes,
They do and they don't. They have players in that sort of everything but the striker kind of position.
right.
Like I know Martinelli's dropped off a bit. Season before last, he was wonderful. He was a brilliant player. Klopp was trying to sign him.
Yeah,
Klopp tried to sign him. He wanted him. He wanted Saka and he wanted Martinelli. Two of the players he wanted. Didn't happen. So you saw why he wanted. But he's dropped off a little bit. That happens. A young enough player. I think Havertz unbelievable footballer, right? All of those, but they don't have like Darby Jesus, Eddie Nketiah, who they got rid of. Those aren't the guy. Jesus isn't the guy. Nketiah wasn't the guy. Havertz isn't your striker either. I think he's in that withdrawing role. I'd still take him all day long. Then they got Saka, who was Saka, obviously. But yeah, they're a little bit, maybe a little piece missing. They brought in Marino in midfield, but
they have. I mean, you brought up Martinelli, and but yet they just brought in they're not paying 300,000, but a 300,000.
Oh, Sterling as well. Yeah.
Sterling says a lot. I mean, and Trossard is the player that normally comes in for Martinelli when he comes in.
He's trying to leave.
He wants to leave. Result this weekend when we beat
Trossard wants to leave.
What was Arsenal's result this weekend? I know they drew with Brighton last weekend, but the weekend just gone where we beat United, who did Arsenal play?
So ask that question one more time. Who are Arsenal's?
Who did Arsenal?
No, last game.
Okay, I'll tell you.
Was it Aston Villa?
Yeah.
Villa was who they played, yeah. And they played Brighton, Villa, and before that, Wolves.
But
last game,
Arsenal.
Going back, Brighton.
No, in the Villa game.
Villa, and then they played Wolves as the home opener.
But he wants it in the Villa game.
What about the Villa game?
What score was it in the Villa?
I know you're both talking at the same time. I can't hear you. So that's fine.
Yeah, no. He just wants to know what the score was in the Villa game.
2-0. It was 2-0.
Yeah, there you go. 2-0. There it was 2-0 against Villa.
2-0.
To Arsenal.
Yeah, they won. Oh yeah, they won.
That's why I brought, because it was Partey scored the last, but Trossard scored the game winner for them.
I like Trossard.
Yeah, he wants out.
I didn't know he wants out. That's not good
he's
news
not
for him.
playing. No, but she
That's not
doesn't
good for him.
play.
Oh, I know.
They don't play.
He's a good player for him. I mean, like, he's a good
Yeah.
player, whether it's off the bench or whether it's a starter. Is either, I guess, is a question. But yeah.
So they're bringing it like Thingy comes in for Martinelli. Maybe just a bit of a drop off. City.
I know. Oh, Solo P.
The starting thing.
Dude.
The starting thing is a weird one.
Probably relax myself. Yeah, I'm sorry. I saw something. Solo P got it and left.
No, sorry. What's
Go ahead. You're talking about Trossard.
Yeah, no, I didn't even know he was. I mean, I didn't know you were watching, man. This is your first comment, so.
Yeah, I know. Some people, like, I know myself, I can get riled up in comments, but some people are very, very sensitive. Go ahead.
But no, look, you see, they turned down a bit. Like, Trossard is like, he's 28-ish now. He's not a young player.
Mm-hmm.
He knows now he's not going to get the minutes or the minute. You know, he's on a nice deal, nice contract, big club, but he's open. Well, he's not going to leave now, but bringing in Sterling, bringing in players like that, it's that Sterling one for them. That really should work. It really should. That shouldn't be an issue. That should be a real plug and play type thing.
Yeah.
So that makes it one less, and I don't know why it wouldn't.
How much do you know how much there was for the Red Armchair supporters saying they turned down a bid from Saudi Arabia? I doubt he wants to go to Saudi Arabia though. I don't think it's about the money, and it's probably about playing time for a team that, you know, obviously is a contender like an Arsenal.
Yeah, money. Well, look, I don't know. Sometimes it's not about money until Saudi Arabia put an extra zero on something, and then it's like, okay, maybe it is about money. Then
he says a loan with a view to a £25 million transfer. I just don't know about that one. I mean, if I was Trossard, I don't know if that's like a good.
Yeah, but see, if I'm Trossard's Devils, I'm going to tell them, look, all of the clubs that you want to go and play for, you're going to be in the same position. You're not going to be a starter.
Yeah,
you're going to be a Shaqiri.
I don't know. You know what? Does he not? I mean, I can see him starting for Newcastle.
No, I mean, I said all the clubs he wants to go to.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I don't know.
The big club. You're not going to start.
I was just trying to think off the top of my head a team I could see him starting at Newcastle. If he started on the right, at least he couldn't start on the left. He'd have to start on the right.
There's 10 clubs he could go to that he'd start for, but I'm saying the clubs he wants. If he's seen himself going to a big club, he's not going to play. It's like if you want to start,
too, but yeah, I guess
no, right, okay, right. What I'm saying is, if he wants to play for a Champions League club, that is a title challenging club,
right?
He's not going to play. Big is.
Is he not going to start for Villa? Maybe he wouldn't start for Villa. I'm just asking. They're a Champions League club.
Yes, they got into Champions League for the first time in about 20 years. They were nearly relegated to League Two about 5 years ago. A big club. What I'm saying is, if he thinks he's going to go to a big club and start, he's not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I made the mistake of saying a club in the Champions League. I mean a club that might win the Champions League or might win the Premier League.
Yeah, I mean, like,
so semantics. Yeah, but you all know what I meant. But you all knew what I meant when I said a big club. So if you want to argue about the semantics of what a big club is, I mean, he's not going to go somewhere and start for a bigger club than ours.
You're just talking about for one of the big six. You're right. I got you.
So if he's happy, if he's unhappy about not playing football, then he's going to have to go to Newcastle or a Villa or somewhere where he will play.
Right.
You know, so just go and do that. But if you're thinking, oh yeah, maybe and then all of a sudden you get an agent call and go, you know what, Saudi Arabia have just offered you $400,000 a week. Well, do you want to play for 400 grand a week, or do you want to go and play in Newcastle?
Yeah.
Then it might become a different scenario. But the guy, I don't know. He's 28 now, plays for Belgium, does the same job, comes on every now and again. Sterling is in there now. Yeah, I know. I like that Arsenal front line, but like we're only talking about this. The only thing they don't have is somebody like a good version of an Nketiah. That's all they don't have.
I hope that I care less about Kai Havertz, care less about
what we need.
We got the 2-hour mark coming in. That's enough time spent, I think, on Trossard and the woes of the Arsenal players. We just wanted to make sure that you guys got a good look at our Survivor Series, the elite of the elite. This team right here, the high table, those that still have their the flames lit on their staffs. Good looking team there. Very good looking team. Definitely good looking team. So big up to Bernie, big up Red Armchair Supporter, Bonkers. You guys definitely made the show. Cedric, Ian, who else was in the show? Richard, of course, Cedric. I think Marion was here too. Oh yeah, I'm gonna save Solo to last. And Red for Life, Callum. You guys are all and Soul Boy Fran was here as well. And also Adrian, actually, who is Eagle versus Shark, a new name in the chat. Big up to you guys. Daria was up in here too, Cedric, I think I said Cedric or not, but if I didn't, I'll say it again. Anfield Roar was here. John Conway, the birthday boy, was here.
Happy birthday, John.
So, and even Solo P1, who now does not like me too much because of his Lucho agenda. But also good, also well. We are all Reds here, and we appreciate the fact that you guys show up and show love and contribute when you can. And even if you can't, you sit back, you chill. It's all good. It's just about the company of you Reds that matters to me, and I appreciate each and every one of you that have shown up to do that. We wanted to give a shout to the Irishman and Lee as well for joining us today. Lee, do you have something that you'd like to say to the people before we allow for them to enjoy their day or evening?
No, just thanks for being here. Thanks for joining in, everyone. And hopefully we'll get through this break, won't we? It's horrible having to go without now for another week and a half, isn't it? But we'll do it. And hopefully we'll come back all fit, won't we, all our players, and we'll be on to Forest like Wolves.
Yeah, back to Anfield to host Forest, who definitely do not like us. So, yeah, we'll have to hopefully give them a little smackdown.
Some of their fans last season showed themselves to be absolute king idiots.
Yes, absolutely. Agreed with that.
I can't wait for us to thrash them.
Irishman. Oh, big up Jimmy, by the way. I didn't say what's up to Jimmy, but big up Jimmy, by the way, too. Irishman, what would you like to say to the people?
See you tomorrow. Thanks for coming in. Do all the usual.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay. God bless. Good night type thing. Definitely for sure.
So see you tomorrow. Thanks for being in. See you tomorrow.
Yep. Everyone, have a great one. We'll see you tomorrow. And as always, up the Reds, people. Up the Reds. All right. And check you guys tomorrow. Peace.